What is up, divine beings? Peace, love, abundance, blessings. My name is AstroPapi, and this is a YouTube channel of spirituality, occult wisdom, and self-empowerment. This video is going to be about connecting with Lucifer and demonology and be a follow-up, and I want to destroy a lot of misconceptions as well as answer commonly asked questions that are emailed to me, sent to my Instagram, and put on the YouTube comments. So first and foremost, I am somebody that connects both with the light and the dark. I have my times where I understand that dark divinities or dark entities such as demonology, such as the dark feminine, Kalima, Lilith, Ishtar, Inanna, Tiamat, Persephone, Hecate, Santa Muerte, all those energies have a time and place. When it comes to dark energy, it's about really disciplining your shadow side. So it's not about enabling misbehavior. It's about understanding where our misbehavior can lead to self-sabotage, where our anger isn't really being seen, where we need to have a relationship with the dark sides of us, our quote-unquote inner demons, our quote-unquote skeletons in the closet, to be able to not be afraid of them anymore. Because people who are only chasing the light and never seeing their shadows end up allowing their shadows to be bigger. Our shadow side requires attention, but it doesn't mean that we're submitting to them. Our dark sides, everybody has a dark side. They're requiring recognition, but that doesn't mean that we're bowing down to them and listening to what they say. When I first started working with the Goetia spirits, with the Goetia demons, the first message that they gave to me is that we are quote unquote demons, but we are demons that represent the collective consciousness. So these are demons that manifest out of the collective consciousness first and foremost, and they're here to teach us how to work with our own inner demons, our own inner shadows, our own vices, our own anger, frustration, pain, all of that, our hatred, our animosity, our wants for vengeance, lust, all of that. We're here to work with those energies when it comes to demons, to be able to have better discipline with our own dark side and to understand that darkness is not bad, that having certain quote unquote negative sentiments or impulses and drives are also not bad, but to instead understand full self-mastery, yin and yang, light and dark, and to be able to harmonize with them, to be able to be in sync with them, all right? And you can be somebody that works with angels and demons, and I don't want to create a hierarchy of who's better and who's worse. There's a time and place to connect with all these different energies, and it's also if these energies resonate with you. So a lot of people were put off by who I am as a spiritualist because I was connecting with darker energies, but I needed to connect with them to understand where I repress my anger, where I fall into vices, and where I need to stand up stronger and stand up higher. So to me, when I was connecting with the Goetia spirits, it was to really understand myself, to find completion, and to also see where I was disservicing myself, where I was surrendering my power away to other people, to even myself, to my own self-doubt. So that's really what it was about for me. Now, I'm going to say this. Yes, Lucifer, yes, the Goetia spirits can bring you wealth, they can bring you love, they can bring you all these beautiful things, but it's not a one-stop done deal. And I feel like a lot of people come into the occult, come into manifestation, come into spirituality and spell work, assuming that you do one thing and you get everything that you desire, and that's not how it works. If you are trying to manifest wealth, for example, you need to have a mindset of wealth. That means that you need to start thinking wealthy. You need to start visualizing yourself as wealthy. You need to start embodying yourself as wealthy. And there are a lot of unfortunately lazy people out there that assume that once you make some type of pact to a spirit, you get everything that you want. But in reality, you have to cultivate relationships with these entities, and every Goetia spirit has a different function. For example, you have the Goetia spirit Marbas, who's a spiritual healer, and sometimes Marbas can even be co-working with the angel of healing, who is Archangel Raphael, who has shown up for people. I've read for clients who have had Archangel Raphael show up for them when they're doing serious surgeries, and Raphael has saved their lives. And there have been people who have worked with the demon Marbas for spiritual healing, and also Marbas saved their life. So again, these are two different sort of polar dimensions or realms, and they're both different legions of spirits, but they can sometimes co-work together. So this is where we take away good or bad, but this is also to understand that demons aren't just here to grant you whatever favor at whatever time you need. If you're looking to work with the spirit, such as Lucifer, for example, you are going to cultivate a long-term relationship with them, and it's the understanding that they're guides. They're not just wish granters. They're not just here to give you whatever you want. And I wish people would understand that and stop emailing me asking me what they have to do to get what they want from a demon. And it's like, that's not how it works. You have to be the one to still do the work. So if you're doing money rituals, for example, or petitioning a certain spirit, regardless if it's a demon or, you know, a money goddess or a money god, or if it's the planet Jupiter that deals with wealth, or even Mercury, who can also deal with wealth, you have to cultivate an abundance mindset. You still have to be outside and doing the physical work of whatever profession or career you're in, or business you're in, or desire to be in. You still have to do the work. You still have to be outside. So it's understanding that, yes, do your manifestations, light your candles, say your affirmations, do your prayers, give your offerings, but also do the physical energy outside, because all you're doing when you're doing these rituals is charging up an energetic momentum, but you still need to take action in the physical realm. We are metaphysical. Emphasis on physical. Yes, we are meta. Yes, we are spiritual. Yes, we are multidimensional, and we are multifaceted, and we are spirits, but we are spirits having a human experience. So guess what? Do the human work too. Don't just do the spiritual work, all right? And when it comes to working with these entities or spirits, first of all, Lucifer is not a spirit that you're selling your soul to. That's a very common misconception, and it's a very lazy one. Everybody thinks that once you sell your soul, you get everything that you want. And when we even think about selling our souls, right, quote unquote, a lot of that is metaphorical, and we see that when it comes to celebrity culture, but they're not selling their souls to an entity. They're selling their souls to an enterprise, to a group of people who do some rigid things, who do some wild things, who do some, unfortunately, harmful things to humanity. And we don't have to get into that. But when we are looking at selling our souls, quote unquote, that's not really possible to do, because your soul is so multidimensional. Your soul has already lived so many different lives. Your soul is not even just existing in this universe, but it's existing in so many different realms. You also have a higher self, meaning that you already have a higher aspect of you that's gonna counteract whatever type of soul selling that you're trying to do. So guess what? Selling your soul doesn't even work. And secondly, Lucifer is not the same as Satan. And that's something that I really recommend people to understand. If you're trying to understand more about demonology, I recommend books by S. Conolly. I gave some of my books away just because I was moving. I'm going to re-get some of these books, so I can't even show them to you. But I'm going to add a link below to S. Conolly's books on demonology. If you were to read those, you would understand that Satan and Lucifer are different entities. And since we're in that topic, Satan is a trickster spirit. So a lot of people give Satan a lot of fear, and they don't realize that Satan only becomes bigger and quote unquote stronger when you're giving Satan fear. Satan is a shapeshifter that is going to be whatever you want them to be. Emphasis on them, meaning that Satan could be masculine and feminine. If y'all seen The Sandman, the Netflix series, but also the comic, you already know Satan's a woman in it. And that's really where we are putting so much of our own humanity in these entities without understanding their full complexity. So there's a lot of smoke screens, there's a lot of filters that happen when we're connecting with certain spirit guides. For example, the first smoke screen is thinking that these spirits are evil, and hey, they're not for everybody. So to some degree, maybe it's a good thing that there are certain prejudices that are being given and all these false narratives that are being given about these spirits. But those who know. And once you get through that filter, the second filter that you have to go through is the notion that these spirits are going to grant you fast, instantaneous outcomes in your life. Manifestation, alchemy, magic, it doesn't work like that. It really is about cultivating a certain level of consistency to get whatever it is that you want. Now, I'm not saying that fast manifestations can't happen. For example, if it's a life or death situation, yes, spirit guides show up and they perform miracles to make sure that you're safe, that you're well, that your life is protected. If it's something of dire need where it's an emergency, then yes, these spirits can show up and speed up the process. But please don't get it mistaken to think that just because you are petitioning a spirit or giving an offering to a spirit or saying a type of prayer, that means that you're going to get your outcome instantaneously. And these demons are not just here just to give you things. They're here to help you with your self-development. A lot of them are ancient souls. A lot of them are here to give wisdom. A lot of them are here to teach you knowledge of spirituality, metaphysics, arts, music, sciences. And to think that these ancient beings, these ancient guardians of earth are just here to give you something quick is a huge misconception, even when it comes to any other spirit, to be honest, because I've had DMs about, can the Greek god Zeus give me instantaneous abundance? And it's like, first of all, don't even look for these spirits if they're not looking for you, straight up. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to be 100. And if they're not coming to you, don't try to connect with them. And secondly, if you're trying to connect with them and they're not coming to you, build a relationship. Nothing is instantaneous. These spirits are not here to be quote unquote used. They're here to be connected with. They're here to be teachers. They're here to be guides. They are, as we would see, people, meaning that they have their own consciousness, they have their own free will, they have their own personality. And if you want somebody to do a favor for you, you're more likely to do that favor for somebody if they were a friend, if they were a mentee, if they were somebody who you were connecting with on the long term. So be a little bit more realistic when it comes to spirituality and be a little bit more practical. And sometimes, like I feel like deleting my Demonolotry videos because I feel like people are kind of missing the point, and it starts to feel like I'm doing a disservice to both the spirits and to some people, because I want to break down this false ideology that everything is instantaneous. You have to have consistency, you have to build a rhythm, and you also have to be in the mindset of whatever it is that you're trying to attract. And some people really need to start looking at their astrology, looking at their birth charts. If money is the thing that you're focused on so much, look, whether it's in Vedic or sidereal astrology, I use both. Look at your Jupiter sign. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and wealth. Look at that. Look at where you need to connect with your money. If you know your rising sign in astrology, look at your second house, which is how you acquire assets and wealth. Your second house would be the sign right after your rising. So there's other ways you could attract abundance, but a lot of people are so desperate for whatever it is that they're looking for that they assume that petitioning a spirit, an ancient spirit with a lot of wisdom, they assume that petitioning these spirits is going to give them everything instantaneously, and that's such a lie. Now, these spirits can grant you favors when you're building relationships with them. Okay? I'm probably being repetitive, but I need to be repetitive for some people who are not really grounded in what they're doing, and demonology is not for beginners anyway. There's a lot of other spirits you can connect to. There's a lot of different manifestation tools that you can use that doesn't involve them. So again, if you're a starter, focus on your Jupiter sign, learn your birth chart, learn astrology, and connect with Jupiter, which you can do rituals for Jupiter on a Thursday. That might be a better alternative for you. That might be a more accessible alternative for you. And when it comes to even the spirit Lucifer, Lucifer is all about free will. Lucifer is the element of air. Lucifer is the embodiment of change, rebellion, breaking down old power structures. Lucifer is the dark divine masculine. So Lucifer doesn't even deal with the realm of just money. Lucifer is so multidimensional and complex, and a lot of what he teaches you is finding personal freedom. A lot of what he teaches you is getting out of positions where you're giving your power away to other people. Lucifer is really about mental expansion, of releasing yourself from any type of surrendering your power to anybody. And even when it comes to Lucifer, like, you don't have to take what he says to a full grain of salt. Like, Lucifer is not here to say, follow me and do everything I say. Lucifer is just a voice. Lucifer is just a perspective. Lucifer is just one spirit out of many spirits. And when people give this person more fear or unrealistic expectations, I say this person, but I mean the spirit, they're disconnecting from what is really there. And sometimes when you don't have the right intentions when connecting with spirits and you're so desperate, you don't end up connecting with those spirits themselves. You end up connecting with what would be known as trickster spirits, as false entities or false lower dimensional, lower vibrating spirits, which can even be intranquil spirits, spirits of the dead that have not crossed over, who are going to pose as this spirit guide that is going to promise you and whisper in your ear everything that you want. So desperation and spirituality do not go together. Desperation and manifestation do not go together. If you're trying to connect with these Goetia spirits, I recommend looking into the books by Conolly. I'll put a link down below. I recommend you meditating. I recommend you being grounded. And I recommend you having a way of having spiritual contact, whether that's journaling, meditating, pendulum work, scrying with the crystal ball or an obsidian mirror. I use this crystal ball for scrying. I also have my obsidian here with me, and I'll journal and pull cards while I have these next to me to connect with spirits, because sometimes people will be like, how do I know the spirit is around? And if you have to ask that, that means you're not ready to connect with that spirit. All right. I hope this video was a service. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm going to continue my demonology videos. I'll do a video on Leviathan next, because Leviathan is a really powerful water demon for transmutation, for healing and protection as well. And if anybody wants me to cover any occult topics, any spirituality topics, let me know what you want me to cover down below. If you want to follow me on Instagram or book a private reading, how to do so is on my link below. Stay beautiful, stay abundant, stay great. Peace and blessings and empowerment to y'all.